Hello, welcome to your weekly Soulprint Pick Your Crystal reading. This is for the week of June 1st through the 7th. I don't know how we got halfway through the year, but here we are. All right, so this week we're looking at kind of nice soft colors. So we have green, purple, yellow. That's fluorite. I'm not sure what that is, and that's amethyst. So take a moment, see which crystal or crystals appeal to you or calling you. And let's get started, shall we? Here we go. Okay. So start with this. Okay. Nine of Cups, Five of Wands, the Moon, and the Four of Swords. All right, interesting. Kind of an interesting grouping of cards, I'm going to say. All right, here we go. So the Nine of Cups tends to represent that sort of state of just sort of happiness, being kind of content with where you are. It's very, very often considered the wish card. Um, it's the ultimate manifestation card. So this is a card that um, typically comes up if you're looking to create a certain kind of energy or event or situation in your life, and you kind of feel like you're struggling. So here we go. Let me explain this, shall we? All right. So the Five of Wands, it's about quibbling, and it's not about fighting. It's just about not feeling settled. That kind of energy. The Moon. Well, the Moon is reflecting the fact that not everything is visible. Okay, the Moon tends to camouflage a few things. And the Four of Swords it's a part about sort of just needing rest, recovery, um, generally following some sort of a strain or a stressful situation, at sometimes illness. Okay, what is this talking about? It's interesting because these cards are actually talking about um, how you're going to manifest or what's going on with um, your intention to manifest something. Okay. So manifestation is completely and totally about um, ex- anticipating a certain outcome. It is how you focus on what it is you are wanting or trying to accomplish. One of the things that typically happens when we're manifesting is we get into this sort of defensive mode, right? And instead of saying, this is my reality, we say, this is my reality, and I'm going to explain to you how come I deserve it, and I'm going to explain why I deserve it. That's that defensive posturing. It doesn't do any good. It's not helpful, and don't do it. The Moon. Um, you know, there are things that in our lives we can't see clearly. Sometimes we're just not supposed to see them clearly. Sometimes there are mysteries that need to remain mysteries at a certain period or time in our lives. So this is what this is telling me. It's telling me that you've been going through some sort of a difficult or stressful situation. And it is something that has really created a feeling inside of you where things are not turning out the way you want them to be. And in fact, you feel like you're constantly trying to um, convince yourself and or the universe that this is not what you want. This is not how it should be. And anytime you find yourself in a position of trying to convince yourself of something, um, that is a really clear signal that you're sort of not in the right headspace to manifest. When we manifest something, it is about expecting our manifestation to manifest. It is the words we choose, it is the thoughts we think, it is the attitude we have connected to it. That's why very often, it is said that if you want to manifest something, you talk about having it. It's already in your life, and you are showing gratitude for the fact that it is in my life. So you don't say things like, when I have abundance. You say things like, I'm so grateful and filled with gratitude for the abundance of my life. And I ask that it continues to keep on easily coming towards me and I can easily accept. So you're always talking about whatever it is you're trying to create as being here now. Accepting that sometimes manifestation doesn't turn out exactly the way we expect. That's because there are things going on that we don't know about. Also, just as an interesting caveat, you cannot manifest somebody else's behavior. Okay. Um, it just doesn't work because you're now going against sort of the laws of free will. So, this rambling that I'm doing here is letting you know that you have the power right now to create the reality that you're wanting to create. Know that manifestation will not very often show up exactly as we script it, which is part of the reason that you don't get into that defensive posture. It's part of the reason you simply are grateful for what it is, and you kind of leave the details up to the divine. Because as humans, we get all caught up and twisted up in the details or the explanations. You don't need to do that. You just don't need to do that. I very quickly often use the example of, going into a restaurant and ordering a meal. You don't need to justify to the server why you're ordering that or that you're hungry or that you're not really hungry and that's why you've just ordered that. You simply say, this is my wish, and your wish ends up getting put on the table. Okay? So I want you to take some time, step back from what it is you're trying to create, and make sure that the method that you're using, make sure that the way you are trying to create this isn't a reflection of being in a really hard place, isn't a reflection of feeling that you need to justify or explain your behavior. And it is a recognition that, well, we can't see everything and we may not be, and nor should we actually clearly see how it's going to manifest. We simply trust that that which is in our highest and best interest is going to unfold in a way that we most need it to unfold, because we simply live in a state of gratitude. I hope all of that rambling makes sense. Long story short, this is a really good time for you to start manifesting. Make sure you're doing it in the most powerful and positive way you can. Very interesting. And of course, interesting because the stone is green, right? And very often the color green is associated with abundance, green money. Here we go. Take a look at this purple stone. I think that's how it wants to sit. Okay. Page of Wands, Seven of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, so what you have here are two sevens and two pages. Let's get started, shall we? The Page of Wands tends to bring you good news. The Page of Pentacles tends to bring you good news connected to your finances or um, assets. The Seven of Pentacles talks about it's like a harvest. Very often it's read as a disappointing, harvest, but it's really not. The Seven of Pentacles really does represent the harvest coming in, but like all things harvested after a period of work, of intention, of effort. The Seven of Wands is about finding yourself in a position where you feel you have to justify something, yourself, your behavior, your intentions. Um, I'm sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Okay. The Seven of Wands is about feeling defensive. We're trying to justify a behavior, an attitude, a thought process. Okay. So what we're talking about here is recognizing that the pages are both bringing you good news. They're bringing you good news that is connected to not only sort of finances, but earthly things. So the physical work, your body, health, money, assets. The wands are, fire energy, right? So it's about your consciousness. It's about taking action. It's about words. It's about communication. It's about business. It, the cards really, really are almost self-explanatory here. They're saying you're putting in the work, you're creating um, your consciousness to have this come together. You are creating the word and the communications. Very often it will apply to a business or business ventures. And the two pages are just literally sitting on the sideline saying, we're going to bring you good news, but things are happening. Let things unfold. Continue to do your work. Continue to harvest. Put the effort and energy into what it is you're trying to create. And know that it will unfold in a way that brings you, some happiness, some clarity. These are just really nice cards. I mean, I sort of feel like I'm repeating myself here, because they really are just sort of telling you like it is. They're saying, listen, you don't need to be defensive. You need to keep on putting in the work and trust that your harvest is going to be plentiful. And know that you're getting good news financially and you're getting good news of another sort. So, is it possible that this is just really random? Is it possible that you're looking to change your job or you're looking for a salary increase or something like that? You don't need to defend your position. You need to have clarity about it. You need to speak your truth. You're going to continue to work. And ultimately, whatever that physical abundance is that you're looking for, there's going to be good news coming your way as a result of it. All right. And let's look at this yellow. Okay. Okay, I don't often do this sort of right out of the gate, but if you have chosen this particular grouping of cards, you may want to just take a moment and listen to the crystal reading of the purple crystal, the one directly before this, because in some ways this almost feels a little bit like a continuation, in part because the other reading had Wands and Pentacles. This has Wands and Pentacles. So I'm not saying there's going to be a message there for you. I'm just saying you might want to consider taking a peek at it. So Eight of Wands is about communications. It's very often about a flurry of communications or really fast progress, something moving forward really quickly as just sort of as a delay or as things had slowed down. The Six of Wands, this is about recognition. This is about success. This is about sort of a sense of achievement. It also very often it is about good news coming your way, but with it's like with a sense of other people acknowledging the work you've done or the accomplishment. The Knight of Pentacles is bringing you the guidance or the insight that the abundance that you're seeking is going to come. It's not going to come instantaneously, but there is going to be a positive outcome. And the Four of Pentacles is asking you to not be too cautious, not hold so tightly to whatever it is that you have that your hands are not open to accept or welcome in something new. The Four of Pentacles very often is about kind of almost like a miserly behavior of being so cautious and so careful that you find yourself sort of like stuck. But this isn't telling you to go like hog wild in the other direction, because this Eight of Wands is already telling you that there's going to be an increase in activity, a flurry of activity. It's going to be very positive for you. You will have put in the work. And so that outcome was coming to you. I almost want to say, don't be afraid of success with this Four of Pentacles. I almost want to say it's good to be careful, but being overly cautious just creates an energy of being stuck. So you've got forward movement. You've got achievement coming your way. But you've worked for it. You've worked hard for it. And so the rewards come. Alrighty. So thank you very, very much for being here for this week's Pick Your Crystal here at Soulprint. I hope you've enjoyed your reading, and I wish you a wonderful week ahead. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye for now.